we have just come to the end of our second season at McLaren. And remember, our goal here is twofold. One, we want to make McLaren good again. And two, we want to go is what exactly one female driver in the vanilla version of this game, or real female driver in the vanilla version of this game. They can auto-generate as the game goes on. And so we are going to try and get Sophia Florsch, that driver, to be the world's champion. But right now, we have Kevin Magnussen, Mr. K-Mag himself. We have Lando, and we have our throwaway reserve driver ready to be binned when we need to. And as I say, it's now the 8th of December. We are just coming to the end of the season. So how has that season gone off stream? Well, pretty well. As remember from the last stream, because we're kind of skipping through these first couple of seasons, the car that we went into the season with seemed to be rather good, and that actually held true. Now, remembering that our focus is still, or has been, on kind of pushing dev, and we don't want to get too good too quickly, we actually kind of ran a bit of a risk of that towards the end of the season. So let's show you what ended up as the season results after this. In the current Constructors' Championship, so we finished 4th. We were in 3rd for a long, long time, but Ferrari had a really big, strong push at the end. And our board expectation was finishing 6th or higher. So we have absolutely smashed that, and I did kind of want to be careful about not smashing it too much, because we don't want to end up being in a position where we need both drivers to podium too quickly. So 4th is a great finish for us. It means we're finishing 2 places higher than we did last season, 2 places higher than where we were expected to finish, which should mean that our season expectations are modified, but also it means more people will want to join us. We should hopefully get a bit more sponsor money, and we'll get some more prize money as well. Where it really kind of came close, though, is drivers. Lando came 2nd in the championship. He had a stellar season. And if you want to know just how good his season was, a lot of that was built on the early races, because we did have a good car in that kind of early mid-section of the season before we started flipping to really heavily pushing dev for Season 3 car. So first couple of races were as usual, but by the time we started to get parts coming off the construction line to address our cornering weaknesses, we picked up a 3rd in Baku. We picked up a win in Miami. We got a 3rd in Imola. We came 2nd in Monaco. I think we podiumed in Montreal. Yeah, we got a 3rd in Montreal. We got a 2nd in Austria. We got our first ever, was it our second win? Our second win ever in Budapest, which is great. We came 2nd in Belgium. We came, where else did we come? We had a few other good wins. Monza, we were 2nd. In Qatar, we finished 2nd. And we even scraped a final win of the season. Now, this one was a bit lucky. This was basically just to do with us having superior strategy in the rain and a few cars going out. But we actually managed to win in Mexico City towards the end of the season. And we got a 3rd in Abu Dhabi on our last day. So overall, we basically, out of 23 races, we got podium finishes in 12 of them. So just under 50%. We got 5 third places, 4 second places, and 3 first places. I want to see if we can at least match that going into this season coming up, because we've invested in our design facilities this season, as well as our staff and training facilities, which is great. So yeah, dang indeed, Onyx Raven. That is a pretty damn good season for us, and we're heading into towards the end of Lando's contracts. I think we really need to try and keep hold of Lando. And actually what our focus will be this season in terms of facilities, we've pushed on the design center. I think we're going to need to refurbish these, which is annoying because it's a lot of money, but we're going to have to do it. The factory is a bit shite, but I just can't afford to do that. Like, we're actually going into next season with not a great amount of cash. Slightly lower than last year. We wanted 27. The good news is we haven't got to sign a new driver this time. We could arguably keep our technical director. We're going to talk about that in a second. And we've almost finished upgrading our design center, which is not going to increase our project capacity, but it gives us a pretty good boost in our airflow and gives us more engineers. We've also managed, because we've been pushing on staff facilities, we've got our race simulator up, so our driver development is up to 80%. We've got our team hub up, which means that all of our staff and everything are boosted and we've got more attractiveness. So next year we will probably take a bit of a break on facilities development to focus more on trying to make sure we've got bank to try and renew Lando's contract before the season's up. That's going to be our key goal. There's an umlaut on the O in her name that should be pronounced Flursh. Apparently the game doesn't know that. Yeah, it comes and goes. It depends on where you're viewing her name. But yeah, so speaking of Sophia, Sophia did get a drive for her second year in F3, which is one of our problems if she hadn't got one. So she has got, so it's doing a crappy little umlaut bit here, but it gives you a proper one here. She is still down as cannot race in F1. They need to be over 18 and compete in at least 2 seasons of FT or F3. At the end of this season, she would have done 2 seasons of F3. We should be able to bring her on board as a reserve driver. And I think we're going to need to, because she's only been picking up 4 points each season in her reserve stuff. And I think we might benefit from bringing her on board now and making her our reserve driver, not least because we can start to push her stats a bit. We can kind of start to pick which areas she develops in. She's going to need at least, I think, 2, maybe even 3 years before we can stick her in an F1 car. But time is against us. She is 24. So I think we just need to start maybe aggressively pushing her more. So she starts in Prima, a much stronger outfit. This is the question. We could technically leave her in F3 for another season if she stays at Prima. I think it might be worth doing if she stays at Prima. But she's only got 3 weeks left up on her contract, so I kind of feel like we've got no guarantee where she's going to go. And I think we're better off. We can give her reserve driver status on every race. And that's going to give us some crashes, but I think we just might want to do it. The other staff change we might want to think about, but I think we might delay this, is we need a new sporting director, or we need to keep Randeep. Because his contract is up in 3 weeks. So decisions on that need to be made. But yeah, car part dev, we've got everything timed to finish. We've managed to squeeze in a whole bunch of research on a good amount of stuff. So I'm reasonably hopeful we'll have a competitive car next season. But less crashes and disastery. I think she will crash more than he did. We don't need to sponsor Taylor Barnard. It would have been nice if you could pick that and then we could have just basically sponsored Sophia. I'd like them to add that in a future one. So now we've got better outcomes on our various bits. Same project capacity, but we can now go up to 15 engineers, which is critical. That's just going to speed things up nicely for us. So we've finished our suspension research. That's our rear wing. That's our side pods. And that leaves us on 27th. So, Taylor Barnard is primary great because in the position tower he comes up as TVA. I like that. Yeah, decisions chat. Firstly, are we keeping Randeep? I think given our cash levels, we might want to. Because I think it's going to be cheaper to renew him than it is to get someone else. Like, if we wanted to upgrade on him, we'd be looking only at Enrique or Pierre. Now, Enrique is a free agent. So I think maybe what we want to do is see if we can get Enrico. And if we can't get Enrico, we re-sign. Because he would be an upgrade. I just can't afford to do it. But let's try negotiating and see what he's going to come in at. Now, the other reason we had to wait until the end of the season on this is because he was not open to negotiation earlier in the season. Oh, no, we don't want to do that because that's our tech chief. I'm on the wrong screen. Sporting directors is what we want. So we would essentially have to poach one of these guys to do it. Because our tech director is our female one we're working up. If we were going to replace him with anyone, I would probably go with Laurent. Didn't realise teams had to negotiate more than just drivers. Yeah, so you don't have to do all your pit crew, but you do have to do this. I think it's worth us seeing. Nah, I mean, he's got a buyout. And I don't really want to be doing a buyout right now. Unless Alan Permain... Yeah, we hadn't scouted him. I think... What about Ron? Ron's contract is up in 4 days. I think if we can get Ron, we get Ron. Pity it's not real life since Alpine fired Permain the other week, yeah. I think we get Ron if we can get Ron. Because he might even not want a long contract. And then we could try and get Laurent in when Ron goes. Let's see what he'd want. I thought Meki sounded familiar. Has replaced Toss as a principal at AlphaTauri. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I do like about this is you start to get used to knowing some of the names a bit more of people behind the scenes. Right. What do you think? I even give you 100,000. Sold. So we got Ron coming in. We've still got Bonnie. Don't think we want to change William Joseph because him and Lando just have really good pairing. We're saving Bonnie for Sophia. Tech Chief we could improve on, but I really like that we're building Diana up. Like, she is getting better. We probably want to have a look at is we've got her on structure. Yeah, I think we still leave her on structure. We do need to hire more engineers now that our refurbs or our stuff's completed. Yeah, because our design factory has finished. So our factory is a bit duff as well, but I can't afford 4.2 at the moment. Just can't. So let's get our engineers up. I assume we do under here, do we? Team change, yeah, get them up. Joined a bit late, but didn't we just start the 2024 season at the end of last stream? Did players ahead of the stream? Yes, so I've been, for the early seasons here, I've been powering through them. So you missed a bit of a recap at the beginning of the stream. Short version is we finished 4th in the championship. Lando finished 2nd. Our car was pretty damn good. Because, yeah, we want to get through the early years and get to the interesting part. But if you want weekly, midweek updates on this, on my Discord, which is exclamation mark Discord, I've been posting updates, getting chat to talk about what we do, posting screenshots, all of that kind of stuff. It's just in the F1 campaign text channel. And as we go through this season, I'll probably start posting clips there and onto YouTube as well, because I think if we end up with a good car here, there is a legitimate chance that we might have a title shot with Lando. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What I'd really just like is a car that's competitive to the same level as it was this season. So that is all of our research done going into this season, because again, we have pushed quite heavily on research. Lando's gone up a notch. The other thing I really would like it to do is it doesn't make it obvious when you've got a thing that's fallen down in conditions. I really wish it would. Like, look, a whole bunch of this stuff is now down in condition again. And it's like, game, you could have told me this. Like, at any point, you could have told me this. Not going to refurb that yet. Are our pit crew still weary? Yeah. They're getting there. Oh, I should say as well, so yeah, so we finished 6th in the fastest pit stop stuff, which is a bit of cash, which is nice. Unsurprisingly, he's low. Our board has high confidence in us. We hit our so our long-term board objective was to have 6 podium finishes by the end of 2025. We had, how many did I say? 12 podium finishes this season. So we finished on the podium in 50% of the races this season. K-Mag came 8th, which is not bad at all. Lando 2nd on 372. We finished 4th on 456. If we'd been pushing on K-Mag's car, we'd have finished 3rd. We've blitzed our team rating up. So this is how we finished. Season objective completed, which is 6th, finished 4th, current progress, long-term objectives, score podiums, because we got 2 podiums last season, just remember. Target season 226. Sign Haaland, yeah. You know it'd be great. So Constructors Championship 4th, best driver position 2nd, team rating revered, we are still revered. And our board confidence is high. They could have given me more money than that, you bastards. But there we go. So, got our refurbs going on. So this is the regulation changes. This is the big change that's coming in. And this is why I was like, right, well, we might as well start finishing high. Because they've changed the rules. They've reversed it, so you actually get less time in the thing, in the wind tunnel, based on position being lower. We also, this is the big hits, so side pods, air hits have been the technical changes this season. We've pushed heavily on research and side pods to kind of try and counter this. Do you get a salary too, or just have a budget for stuff? I don't think the game represents you getting a salary. One thing I'd like to see them add next year is you getting job offers from other teams, but I'd also like them to add F2 and F3, and who knows. That's one of the things I really miss from Motorsport Manager. You know, is being able to treat it a bit more like Football Manager, where you can just have a sort of journeyman career and move around a bit and see where you end up. So, you know, start at an F3 team, get a good rep for winning stuff, get a job in F2, get a good rep there, get offered a shitty F1 team, take them to the championship, or do well enough that you get offered a big job. Yeah, essentially a career mode. Because, yeah, right now, and yeah, contract negotiations. Give me a contract negotiation. All right. It's reticulating spleens. Right, so what are our obligations going to be this season? So, let's have a look at our sponsor obligations. So, merchandising. The Race Simulator's weekly driver development boost is reduced for each week of the event. This we are massively ramping down. Because we need that as much as that as we can. Just seen a little kitty run past. I'm just going to check that there isn't another little kitty behind him. Yeah, I think he's just got the zoomies. We're good. He's been fed, so. Race hospitality. Pit crew performance will decrease on each race. Yeah, I mean, I'd like a bit more income per race. Now, I think driver appearances, we're going to ramp this up because we really don't care about how well K-Mag develops or not. Like, sorry, K-Mag, but like, I don't give a shit, K. You're not my long-term driver. Car parts manufacturing is paused for the day of the race season. Emergency spots. I'm generally pro this because I don't think it really inconveniences this that much. K-Mag has also probably not been fed, but whatever. Yeah, so we do have now the kitty. Kitty is... Good news is Kitty has taken up position to guard us from pigeons. He is on pigeon guard position over there. On the windowsill. Drivers control performance rates. I'm kind of against doing this because we'd quite like K-Mag to do all right this season. But I think we will slide in a few. Like, K-Mag is our dump stat driver. We will do some factory events. It rarely inconveniences us a lot. So I know we've got a lot of sponsor obligations there, but I think we just need the cash. So I think that's fine. Could buy some more merchandising. It's a big increase. It's a lot of money, though. So much up front of that, but the ROI is good assuming you're performing. Yeah. I just think we want the upfront. I think next year we can push a lot on merch, but I think this year we just need the upfront. We're going to get through a lot of money on car parts. If Sophia's driving for us, we're going to get through a lot of money on car parts if we stick her straight into the car in practice. Far-sighted decision from save the families of your fans from having to put up with the bright orange t-shirts all the time. Yes, I must admit I have been keeping an eye out on a race department to see if anyone has uploaded a decent fucking new McLaren skin yet. Let's check. F1 Manager 23 mods. Driver suit viewer. Ooh. Ooh. Someone's just released McLaren Triple Crown. That would give us the white McLarens with the orange rear. It's not quite as cool as going full. Maybe I feel like we should do a livery change. Or someone's finally done a realistic skin tone for Lando. Ooh, McLaren Chrome. The white's nicer. Should we see if that's save game compatible, chat? Let's try it. Am I logged in? I am logged in. McLaren should be Marlboro colours end of. Yeah, 100% agree. Right, that is downloaded. Extract. It's just a pack. Okay. We will get through the pre-season bits and just confirm this, and then I'll restart the game. So that's what we're going in with. This is the total changes overall. Author give us that amount. Regulation changes. Don't think there was any regulation changes. It was just all the testing limits. Powertrain, what are we going with? So we were on the Ferrari last year. Now, we should have a much, much better, more efficient engine cooling this year, which should help with our wear and tear, because we didn't in any way maximize that last year. So I kind of feel, chat, that this is up to you. We could stick with Ferrari, Or we could go Mercedes. I think Red Bull might be a bad idea. I think it just wears too fast. But we could go... I would say we go Ferrari or Mercedes. I do like the power output of the Ferraris. Horsey-based horsey power, that's the thing. The ERS durability is really nice as well. And the fuel efficiency. I'll put it to a quick vote, because if I can save here... Oh, I can't save from there. Let's do a 2-minute vote. And I will get the file into position while we're doing that for the new livery. I think we go either Ferrari, which was our supplier last year, or I think we could maybe go Mercedes. That is a 2-minute poll that is starting now. Fuel and ERS sold, yeah, I mean, they are very good. Like, we're going to end up buying at least one more ERS for both our drivers on that durability. But while we're doing that, let me get this file in place. While you're having a vote. But yeah, I'll be interested to see. Like, we've pushed heavily on research again. Heavily on research again. So I am hopeful. We're at the very least, we're still competitive. But we'll see. We did have a couple of annoying fires in our design center, which slowed us down a bit. And wasn't helpful. I mean, that is looking very Ferrari. Ain't no love for the Germans in chat. It's all about the love for the Italians. We're going McLaren Big Horse. Big Horse McLaren. Let's wait for that to officially time out. McLaren Ferrari is extremely wrong on an emotional level, but fortunately I'm a robot with no emotions. Yeah, exactly. I want someone to mod Honda back in. I'd like to see them do more with engines in the next version of the game. Like, have a difference between, say, a factory team or a works team and customer engines. Like, not too much, but do something with it. Like, something with it. Right, well, Ferrari it is. We're staying with Ferrari. Ron comes in. Being able to sign multi-year engine deal for cheaper, but engine development being a thing from the supplier. Yeah, I mean, there's like, it's a brilliant game, and as long as they keep evolving it, I think it's going to be good. Right, let me quickly reload this. And let's see if we get some new livery. You can see I've been mucking around with the female talent mod in my other saves as well, just to try it out. Because I think what we might do after this one is we might try for an all-female F1 team. Which will be a challenge. I think if we're doing that, we'd probably do it with Aston Martin. Because who doesn't like Aston Martin's colours? Right, let's try this. Synchronizing with cloud. I don't care. Just run it. Don't need you to synchronize with the cloud. Just run the game. There we go. Game is starting, chat. So yeah, I think we could maybe do Aston Martin, all female, for every role. Like that would be a challenge, but I think you'd want to do it as someone like Aston Martin who have got the money. Let's reload that one. There you go. New livery, chat. Have fun, random deal fan. Look at that. New livery. That's a bit better. I do want someone to just Marlborough us up, though. Right, ATR has started. Pit crew. Pit crew. We got Ron now. They're well rested. Sort yourself out, lads. I don't get why the pit crew is so fucking tired all the time. Like, dude, you do fuck all. You work for like 5 seconds a fucking race. No, that's not true. I used to have mates who worked on pit crews. They used to get really annoyed when you say that. It's like, dude, your job is like 10 seconds long. It's like some of us have to work like actual days, not just like 2 minutes. Back in my days, main sponsor decided livery, Marlboro, Camel, JPS, Rothman, 7-Up. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Oh, Zidan, if you're not listening to it, the Bring Back V10s podcast, you'd love it. I reckon they're well rested, so let's maximize our... Let's go with... Should we go with pit stop time? Let's reduce pit stop errors and then we'll go pit stop time. Right, key question. This is where we find out the game is broken. We can get her. She's at Van Amersfoort in F3. I think we bring her on. I think she will develop faster with us than she will in F3 at this point. If she was 2 years younger, I'd leave her in F3 for another year, but I just don't think we can afford to. They really need to change that message. She is not considering retiring soon. Especially because she's not a race driver at VIR anyway. Exactly. She'll develop faster with us. I know that they're just meant to, that message is meant to kind of be just I want a shorter contract, but it's like the game seems to sort of assume you'll always be working with older drivers. Look, you've been fed. Right, sod off, Hunter. You got 1 million out of us for doing fuck all for a year. Hope you enjoyed it. I noticed you grew your hair out. Right. We need to really sort out her pace. Pace long runs. So facility bonuses she's getting are the memorabilia room, which is a team attractiveness one. She's getting Team 4 level hub, which is giving her morale boost, and she's got race simulator level 4, which is giving her weekly dev plus 80%. He'll be happier in IndyCars. Exactly. Right. I'd say stats-wise we're looking decent. Let's have a look at our car analysis. We are now above average for everything on the grid. Right. Before I hit this button, I am going to give you a prediction. This prediction is, where do we think our car is going to rank in terms of on the grid, based off of what you see there? So I'm going to say in this pre-one, because we'll see that in first qualifying, but for this, the question is how many top 3 on paper will we have? Will we have, let's say, 0 categories? Let's say 0 to 3. Let's say 4. Let's say 0 to 2. 3 to 4. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 categories. That works out nicely. 5 to 6. Or 7 plus. Right, your prediction is up. So this is how, because I'm going to flip this in a minute and it's going to tell us theoretically where we sit. It'll give us like first, second, third, whatever else. So have a look at your prediction there and where okay is. My personal gut feeling is I think we'll be 3rd row. I think. Now while we're doing that, I'm just going to have a quick look at what we got going on. I mean, I don't want to upgrade that, but we might have to refurb it. Because it's about to drop again. But bit of a nightmare, really. Inbox. So development's open. ATR allocations are announced. And we get 40.8 and we get 544. That's why it's kind of handy to finish 4th, but going up would be better. Going from there. Oh, so we've got a 0 to 2. And most people are going 3 to 4. That's, yeah, I'd probably put that in where I'd hope to be. But we'll see. None of you think we'll be 7 and above. I think that's probably a good thing to not agree with. Right, staff. So we are going to need to offer Diane another contract at the end of this year. We might as well just do that now, because we know we're going to need to. And she's only going to get better. Will you renew for exactly the same we're paying you right now? Close. It's okay, but I think... Do you want a longer contract? Because that's fine. Oh, come on. You have like 3 out of 4 positives there. Let's see if we can get her on a lump sum. I'd rather pay a relatively low amount up front. In the grand scheme of things. There we go. Better that than sticking an extra bit on that. Just works out much better value. Okay, so predictions are in. 22% of you reckon 0 to 2. 59% of the vote of the predictions went for 3 to 4. 5 to 6 is 18, and no one reckons 7 plus. Okay, let's see what this comes in as then. Theoretically, on the grid, I mean, it doesn't really matter what car we pick at this stage, but we'll go with car 2 because Lando is really our primary driver. Here we go. One, two, three. 3 of them. That's not bad. And we're 4th on that. 4th on extra weight. 6th on acceleration, low speed cornering, medium speed, brake cooling we're terrible at. I'm pretty happy with that, you know. So that's 3. So the 59% of you were right. There you go. Have your rewards. I think that's 3rd row out the gate. Right, low speed and medium speed cornering. I want our DRS effectiveness up. Brake cooling is terrible. We should probably do something about that. Suspension should sort us on cornering. Got another 61 days, we've got 5.1. Let's go with... So this is going to take us probably about 35 days. So if you reckon we're going to get about 8 projects in that time? So 51 divided by 8, chat. Roughly. And while we're doing that, I'm going to see if there's anything else that's going to deal with cornering more. 6.5. Okay, cool. Let's go with getting a rear wing going first, because it's going to affect our DRS delta. So let's go 6 on that. Let's go 7 on that. 68 divided by 8, roughly, chat. Maths, please. This is why I keep you all around. 8.5, okay. You get a 10. Because this is pretty important. I'm not that fussed. Our top speed's pretty good, isn't it? And we'll get more top speed out of other things. So we're going to go down on a weight. Sophia's going to be slamming these parts into the wall a lot anyway. I'm not that fussed on this round about airflow sensitivity. I'd like more DRS delta. And that's going to give us a reasonable boost on our cornering as well. That was low speed cornering when we were really bad, wasn't it? I didn't go with that. I'm going to go 4 engineers. And I think for this one we're going to go intense. Because I can see us doing another rear wing project. Because the cost will be higher, but you gain a greater car part expertise bonus, which will improve future designs of this car part. I think for rear wing that's useful. We can't do it for much. We can only really do it for one thing, and I think rear wing is the thing we want to do it for. Chassis has the shortest period on it. I think probably suspension. So you're going to get a 6 and an 8. And, I mean, our brake cooling's pretty good. It's just not the best in relative terms, it's bad. We could do that and really blitz it. Probably underfloor next. Or maybe side pods. Let's go side pods. And I think side pods will be our other intense. Because it's the thing we're behind most in. And I reckon we rock out an underfloor. Again, I think low speed cornering is really our priority here. And that just gets a normal. Right, we've got a few engineers to spread around. We didn't up our engineers on side pods. There we go. That's everyone allocated. Good news, lads, the helicopter's working again. Boardroom has been refurbished. There we go, first increase for Sophia already. Rishi will be pleased indeed. Oh, nice. We're going to get a 5-day boost on that. Absolutely. Freebie boost. Right. Now, we could go straight in with another rear wing. So this is a thing I've been trying on my off-stream runs, which is for the initial burst of research, stick to the same thing twice if you know your drivers are going to be slamming into walls a lot. Because one of the big changes on this is durability in spare parts, and manufacturing lots of parts really screws you. So actually I think doubling up and almost jumping a design in part terms really has a positive. So I think we will be doing that. And I think we go balanced for this. I think balanced is fine. Slap a couple of racing stripes on. Yeah, I mean, well, exactly. K-Mag should be off to Daytona around about now. Yeah, pretty much. So you get your 4 on that. So it's not going to be in time for Bahrain, but it might be in time for the one after. Yeah, I mean, if we rush it, it's in time for Bahrain. But I'd rather not. We'll effectively be going spec car for Bahrain, I think. Right, parts. So we are theoretically got Bahrain in 24 days. We could have time to build one of everything. Give me one of them. And we're only going to build them in bursts of 1 just because it's going to give us more flexibility. It means a bit slightly microing this, but that's fine. So we just did side pods, didn't we? So I'm going to do side pods again. Got 34 days till that expires. 32. We've got, if we ignore the fact that's going to finish in 32, let's say we've got 1, 2, 3 projects to get done in time. So let's go side pods. So 2.0 divided by 3 is 6 and a bit in it. So side pods gets a 6, 7. What effects are caused by rush development? Nothing other than a price increase. So once we've done this, we've got 2 more projects coming in, basically, haven't we? Let's check. Just time to get this right. Yeah, because that will just about finish in time, but that's fine. Yeah, so it's 3 in total. So let's go side pods again. And that leaves us 1.2 to spread between the others. And let's go 9, because that leaves us 8 to spread between the others. Now, I think our engine cooling is okay. I'm pretty happy with our engine cooling stimulus. I'd rather drop that down and really slam home the boosts on airflow. Now, this is going to come in under our ATR testing period, but that's fine. Now we're going to manufacture 1 set of side pods. So they are quite pricey. Do we go 2? Mercedes say 0, yeah. Fuck it, we're going 2. So we'll also have underfloor and suspension. For So we're going to get underfloor and suspension. But we have just had a new month tick, which has cashed us up. Fine, K-Mag can have a rear wing. Pit crew, how you doing, buddies? Let's go with that. I want that time off the... Yeah, you can have a rear wing as a treat. Sophia's going to slam it into the wall anyway. Right, underfloor. Let's go underfloor again, because then we know we've jumped up on our underfloor design. It's pretty balanced. I think that's probably fine, isn't it? Hopefully with her pace stat, she'll be going too slowly to break the parts when they hit the wall. She's just going to like bobble into the wall. So what haven't we manufactured? We got new suspension and new underfloor, haven't we? You know what? We'll treat him. Because that's going to finish in 14 days. And we got new suspension. Is it not suspension we finished? I thought we finished suspension. 1 day on suspension, okay. Now, I don't think there's really much point in starting a new one. Oh no, we got enough left, haven't we? So we do suspension again, double jump. Because that was only our first suspension, wasn't it? Latest design is S2, so yeah, we can jump straight to an S3. Do we want to change any of that? Let's leave it balanced. Pump the brake cooling. We could do that. So we've got some new suspension. 7 days, Bahrain's, and yeah, we can get both of those in before Bahrain. Okay, so who needs what? So chassis is initial spec, front wing's initial spec. Rear wing we can put on both. We are going to cheese it if someone crashes in race 1, by the way. I'm not going to race Sophia in first one. We're not going to put her in yet. Because we don't have the depth of parts to allow for it. Car 2 gets that. K-Mag should get that by the time it's race ready. Underfloor is under construction. Suspension is under construction. Yeah, so 2 of them coming. 2 of them. Let's throw out another rear wing. It's the most likely thing that Sophia will slam into a wall. So just give me one of them. Side pods. They want to reduce the amount of factory events. No. I want your money. So we got 1 underfloor and 1 suspension out. I really like how they've changed this so that it's not just you used to have to just rush everything, and it just really wasn't useful. Right, so car 2 has a full set of every part we're going to get in time for the race. Yes. Good evening, Shepherd's DK. The Depths of Parts is a great prog rock name, yeah. Car analysis. Car 2. We are the fastest car on the grid. We are faster than the fucking Red Bulls. Car 1 has new underfloor, not car 2. Ooh, okay. Did I put that on the wrong car? I did, you're right. Give that back, K-Mag. Interesting that. Let's have a look. That's car 1. Change car. Car 2. Fastest, second most effective DRS, 5th on acceleration. Yeah, K-Mag briefly got to think. K-Mag doesn't care, he's still in Daytona. He'll have his before the race. That's at least, that's a second row car, chat. And our brake cooling's gone up much better. I think that's a second row car. How much worse is the other car? Not that worse, and it'll be the same by the time we get to race day. What's the calendar looking like? Right, end of pre-season testing is there. Yeah. Two of them coming off still. In Motorsport Manager, you could often convince both drivers they had a better car than their teammate. The thing I loved in Motorsport Manager is if you had a male driver and a female driver, they would occasionally start a tumultuous love affair and then split up with massive team problems. I mean, yeah, I think we're looking good. Because that's all based on car 1. That's our second bit of underfloor. So there you go, K-Mag. You know that underfloor we took off of you? You can have some suspension as well. Bahrain, here we go. Right, performance targets. We need to be careful here. Right, I think we're definitely reaching Q3. The standard one it wants us to get is 8th. Okay. I'm a bit sad that Motorsport Manager sort of died. It couldn't get the license. You couldn't get the license to be quite deep enough. Still amazing with the fire mod. I think I was telling Rope Trick about it the other day. I'm not going to go for the fastest lap. There's no point. Qualifying position streak of 10 with both drivers. Not convinced, but maybe. Finish position streak with one driver. I think we can go 9th comfortably, and then we'll see where we go with that. Can we reduce the... Let's go 3 races on that. Time for the y-axis-less weather reports. Oh, yes. Right, are there any more facilities that have degraded that it hasn't told us about? Our memorabilia room really needs a clean. No, we can't afford to do that. And the hospitality area needs a wash. Right, let's do this. Said your factory was temporarily shut down. Yeah, so one of our sponsor obligations is for a certain amount of races we shut down the factory. It's fine. We can still make emergency parts if we need to, which is what we'd be doing anyway if we did desperately need a part. But we are going to cheese this. If we crash in practice, for this race especially, we will just reload. Dusty and challenging, this desert track is a real test of endurance for teams. Let's see if 2 seasons of leaning massively on research has paid off. Right, quick to the magic website. We are in Bahrain with Lando. Means we're going to try for a 4.5, an 11, 6.4, 3.35, and a 3.5. Run plan's going to be 16 laps just to make sure they're out there long enough. Drop him to that and to that. Same for you, K-Mag. Did we fit all his parts? We didn't fit his side pods. That's everything, isn't it? He's got 2s on everything. K-Mag, your stats should be the same, I think. So 4.5, 11, 6.4, 3.35, and 0.35. Your run plan is 17 laps, but you're going to come in sooner. Compounds is hard, that's fine. Car parts, that's fine. That's everything, I think. Save. That autosave is always before you've done all your adjustments. Yeah, no y-axis with any upgrade. It does annoy the piss out of me. Right, remember, we're not going to get a true estimate on the speed of these cars in practice.
Track should be green.
White livery. They look a bit better now. Still need someone to do some classic Marlboro colours for us, though.
So radio check.
We are going to do this, which is the thing everyone forgets to do. So the reason I'm toggling them on is they massively reduce engine wear during practice. So the more we can make our parts last, the better. So yeah, remember, because we're avoiding high curbs, we're driving in clean air only, we're running on less pressure tyres, and we're using no ERS, we are going to be a slow car. Do not panic if we're like 5 seconds behind everyone. We will be 5 seconds behind everyone in practice. Because everyone else will be doing not a full race pace, but closer to a race pace. It's only qualifying that's really going to tell us if we've got a decent car. Do not panic. Do not tax grain. Frankly, that we're not last on this is a good sign. Oh, man. No, really? So we got a great on that. Come on in. Let's see what you got.
I think we're quick. Okay, copy.
Dude. Aston Martin are going to crash something chronic this season. Can I get your feedback, please? You should have given me your feedback, mate. Now I'm going to have to call you in to find out. Are we winning? We're not losing. We don't know whether we're winning yet. 89. Okay, we can improve on that. I'd like to get higher than that. So that is an optimal, a good, a great, a good, and an optimal. Give me some numbers, please, magic game thing. F1setup.it, by the way, for anyone who really can't be asked with this minigame. 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. It suggests we go with 7, 3, 3, 2, and right down to 0. We're going to run the whole distance here. There's no point bringing him back in again. We'll redo the setup if we need to between practices. How are you looking? 85. So K-Mag is on a great, great, optimal, great, good. 5.5. So K-Mag, whenever we hit above 90 on K-Mag, we don't give him a second practice because we want to kind of conserve his parts a bit. And down to 15. Same again. Yeet yourself out onto that track for as long as you can. Cool. Website for setup. Oh, I'm about to become your best friend, Shepherds. F1 manager's greatest secret. It honestly brings me great joy that at least once per stream there is someone who didn't know that website existed. Anti-spam anonymous, yeah. Basically, if you're a mod, you can post a link. I think I put it so mods can. But it's why I always say to people, like, just DM me. If there's a link that I'm going to share, just DM it to me and I share it in chat. Because, yeah, you get a lot of people who come in, particularly for the CK3 ones, obviously, because I tend to get a hell of a lot more viewers for them, is you get people who come like, oh, yeah, and I just want to, can I just promote my own stream? It's like, no, you can't. Like, don't do that. Oh, are we about to restart? Because Norris has just crashed. Let's watch the crash at least.
Have a look at that. Along the straights here. Dangerously close to each other. And there, the cars make contact.
Nozza.
Bitter blow, too, for more than one driver.
What's damage? Actually, that's all right. We can replace them. Because that's baseline parts. And it didn't do any powertrain damage. And he didn't pick up a... Oh, no, you can't. You can't replace chassis on race day, on races, can you? That's annoying. If it was anything other than chassis, and we could replace it, I'd do it. No, we haven't we haven't researched those, which means we're still running on the original 4 stock it just gives us. On the plus side, we can just go straight to what we know is works now, or is better. So Maggers is K-Mag is on 5.5. Normally I deal with it, but I want to make sure we get to see our cars, what our cars can do in this first race, as much for stream fun as anything else. So K-Mag's going to start on that. Lando, you start on 4.5.11, 7.3, 3.20, and a 0. Because that isn't randomized, it's the same every race. So save them. Like, I legit told you to be safe driving. How do you slam into a fucking Haas? Like, why would you do that? It's a Haas. Shepherds, thank you very much for the follow. Isn't MotoGP where you get out on another bike? Yeah, exactly. I do miss the days of like proper shenanigans with test cars though. Or chassis swaps. Who was it? Was it? I forget where Mansell was. Where was it? When Mansell was with Prost, where Prost nicked his chassis. Prost's engineers nicked Mansell's chassis because it was better, and then absolutely fucking denied it for the whole race.
Just be mindful, pressure's still low.
Curbs and Air. That's also an excellent band name. Right, there is a crash. As long as it doesn't involve any of my cars, I don't give a shit. Oh, Verstappen. So what was that? How long did it take Verstappen to pick himself up a penalty?
Sophia C.
Less than 10 minutes into the season, Verstappen has already picked up has already mullered himself out of practice and picked up a 5-second penalty. That is peak Verstappen right there. Max gonna max.
Now we've got an incident here, and as I understand it, George Russell's involved.
Oh, Russell, what you been up to?
Now here we are at the final corner. Cutting it so close. Has to be said.
Can you not
pretty risky.
Crash into my cars, please, you little shit? Okay, that's fine. How? They swapped the chassis. They basically just swapped the chassis in the car. And Mansell was like, this does not feel like my chassis. And Prost and his engineers are like, no, it definitely is your chassis, mate. You're just, you're imagining things. It's only after the race that he discovered that they had legitimately stolen his chassis. Yeah, well, the thing is, you say that, but Mansell's case, or Mansell would probably have spotted this kind of thing if he hasn't, if he was slightly more, if he had a tendency to turn up for fucking testing.
I'm happy here.
That was always one of the big issues between him and Prost, was that Prost felt that he ended up doing all of the fucking testing, and Mansell would just swan in on last day of testing, throw himself around the track, stick some fucking qualifying tyres on, throw out some good times, and everyone would love him. And Prost's like, I'm the one who's been doing the testing on this car for the last fucking month.
How's the balance? How's balance? Yeah.
So,
All good.
Yeah.
right, good. So that's not great. So get yourself in. How are we looking? 91. I reckon we go one more change on that, because we can probably lock it in as optimal. Because we'll have 2 points of feedback at that point. So 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 1. On K-Mag. Gives us 5. 11, 5. We want to go up to 6, 4. 3, 2, 5. And 0, 30. Run to the end of the session. This is the other reason to keep people from doing multiple practice sessions, is not just to save wear on their parts, so that Verstappen can't drive into the back of them. He takes Stroll out as well. Oh man, Stroll. Oh, that is not a good combination. Aston Martin are going to be short some points. Lando is now on a 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. So 4.5, 11, 5, 5, 3.5, and up to 0.7. Run to the end. A little tricky to stick a chassis under your jumper and walk out. Yeah, but like I say, it's less tricky to do it when Mansell and his entire fucking pit crew and team and engineers aren't turning up on the Friday to do any testing. So basically, you're Prost and you're his engineers. You turn up, you find that the other chassis is better. You go, well, if you want the good chassis, you should fucking turn up on time. So they basically did it entirely beforehand.
I'm not quite sure what's happened there.
It's a Ferrari in the house. How moddable is this game? I can do a bit of programming. Might make sense to release a mod that just has a button to take F1 second. So the interesting with the recommended setup is you do need to tweak it a bit. But yeah, it's not the easiest to mod, but it's not unmoddable. As you saw, I dropped the livery packs in and the women driver stuff in. I don't know if there's many guides on how to do it, though. The site you want is Race Department. RaceDepartment.com. Which is where I go for all my mods for this. So these are the things that are going to tick up, and we're going to be well behind on these to begin with. That is essentially how familiar are you with the car and the parts, and that is how familiar are you with the circuit. Number one mod would be adding a scale to the rain report. Yes, if you released a rain scale mod and just locked it behind a Patreon that was like $5, you'd just make an absolute fucking mint. So they decided to take the chassis on a first come first serve kind of, yeah, basically.
Give us a balance.
Oh, optimal setup, that's good.
Balance check.
Cheers, Bonnie. So yeah, basically turned up at testing, and that's optimal as well. Nice. That means we can just do a clean run in second practice.
Yeah, okay.
So now we can speed this down to the end of the session. That means, because I don't want to do P3 with them, again, I just want to think about part wear early on, and damage risk. We should make it up to probably to full track awareness and 50% car part awareness by the end of P2.
And there's been quite a crash.
A lot of crashes going on. Ouch. Albs. Who wanted to know who was driving for who? There's your driver setup. So you've got Ricciardo and Zhu. Bottas, that's Ralf Schumacher. For some reason it's bugged out and it doesn't show his initials. But that's Ralf.
It's a checkered flag.
Oh, fuck. Ferrari driver change. Russell's at Ferrari. And Leclerc is at Red Bull. So the Ferraris this season are Russell. Let's have a look. It's a driver who's 8th because his name isn't there. That's Ralph. That's Ralph. 99.99. Yeah, we get one more practice out of this. So we go on mediums, run for the whole distance because you can do that on mediums with low settings. Go on that. Don't bother doing that. Same thing. Do that. Drop down to 2. I'm only dropping them down to 2 on that because I don't want to drop them right down to cold tyres because they lose a lot more control. And because we're avoiding hard corners anyway, that takes a lot of the control stuff. Isn't Ralph 50 or something? Other Schumacher. That's good. Go. Manage practice 2. I do wish there was a button to say skip practice as well.
That's a green light.
Because at the moment at least, I'm generally skipping practice 3. But I still have to sim it. And if I say simulate it, the AI is going to send the cars out and ruin the tyres. Piastri's at Williams, so don't get ourselves stuck behind a Williams this season. Sainz knock on at Merck. Hamilton's without a drive. So Hamilton is entirely without a drive this season. Can we hire Hamilton? We could do. It costs us an absolute ton. But that might be the alternative if we can't retain Norris, is we pick up Hamilton. Or if you'd go for a cheap contract, we'd put him in. So what we might want to do next season is, the question is whether we keep Magnussen or not. It's going to depend on how quickly Sophia devs up. We do not want to be sticking her into a car until her, as a second driver, until her overall rating is at least 70. At least 70. Hamilton's second driver. Yeah, but I mean, in game, he's like, what, 40 and a bit at this point. What is she now? 60? 61? So it's going to depend on whether we can get a 9-point climb in a single season. And I don't think we can. I'm hopeful we can get a 6-point climb. If we can get a 6-point climb in the season, that puts her in car at the end of the season after next. How do you get Sophia's rating up? I want to have her on my team. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 tips here. If you want to do what I'm doing, you've got to do it the way I'm doing it, which is pick a team. It's easier if you do this with Aston Martin, frankly. But you've got to get. She's got to race in F3 for 2 seasons before you can hire her. So we've hired her. We've spent a little bit of time gradually increasing the quality of our staff training stuff. I'll show you after practice proper. but increasing our driver facilities so we can increase training. We've let her do her 2 years in F3, and now we've just hired her. And then what we can do is, from next race onwards, we'll drive her as the reserve. I'll show you for practice 1 next race, is we'll put her in as a reserve driver, which gives us some experience boost, and she's going to get the race simulator training boost as well. Don't know what it is, you'll be accent stronger in the F1 streams than the other streams. I think it's because I tend to go a bit more London when I'm watching F1. I don't know why. Might be because I'm thinking more. With CK3 I can do a lot more on autopilot, so I tend to go a bit more RP, received pronunciation. But so that's one way to get Sophia's stats up, if you want to do it in vanilla like I'm doing it in vanilla. But if you like, and we will do this as our next run. Rope Trick, thank you for gifting a sub to Shepherds. For our next run, after we've successfully done with this with Sophia,
a tier 1 sub to Shepherds. They have
I
given
want to
23 gift subs in the channel.
A run where we build Aston Martin into an all-female team. But to do that, we're going to want some drivers. And there is actually the guy who did the mod already, Alloy. I think it's a guy. You want this mod. That mod, the W Talents mod, sticks in, ups Sophia's stats a bit and sticks her in as, basically sticks a whole bunch of female drivers in as reserve drivers on various teams. So you get Jamie Chadwick, Titania Calderon, Sophia Florsch, obviously, Bianca Bustamante, Marsha Gracia, Jessica Hawkins, Arlen Kutulinski, Gatting, Juju Noda, and Lola Levin Fosse. So we will use that mod to do a full female F1 team. And the trick and hard part then is going to be, as much as anything, going to be building a technical staff around them. Bianca too. So yeah, race department is well worth signing up for if you like modding. There's a lot of good mods on there. So we're up to 88. I think we are going to send... Okay, we're going to send both of them out. No, we're not. We're going to leave it at that. Because we're going to have another tranche of car parts before the next race. So that's going to drop. Their car parts knowledge is going to drop again anyway. No, we're going to stick with that. We're going to save the wear and we're not going out in P3. Well, what we're going to... I'll tell you, actually, no, here's what we'll do. Give me 4 laps. Now, this is not going to be a true race pace, but it does mean they're going to set a time. We're going to do a lap in anger. And the reason I've flipped them to softs is because I want 2 sets of mediums for the race. I've noticed that actually the AI is really bad at not realizing that you can actually stretch 2 mediums in a lot of ways. And I like the flexibility of knowing we've got 2 mediums to play with as a race option. I'd rather burn a pair of softs than at this stage than mediums. So let's see what these cars can do. This is not a true qualifying run. This is not going to be a true price price check. This is not a true race pace check, but it will give us a rough idea of how these cars do.
Track should be green now.
Well, the fastest top speed on the grid. That doesn't mean they're the best cars on the grid. It just means they've got the fastest top speed. This is a pretty clean run because I haven't hit traffic as well. So that's not true race pace, but it's not far off. Because obviously they're not quite leaning fully into the corners and doing all of that kind of stuff. So Red Bulls are definitely faster than us. That's going to happen. They're the Red Bulls. Ferraris should be faster than us. If we're faster than the Aston Martins and the McLarens, I'll be happy. Because that's third row. Third row is roughly where I'm aiming here. Oh, I think we might have a car, you know, you're right. Remembering this is not with a full set of even level 2 parts on it. There you go. Drink every time De Vries gets a penalty for causing a crash. Okay, so Science in the Merc just outpaced Magnussen, but again, not true test. And I kind of expect that. What I'm seeing is... Oh, Alonso's gone. Is Alonso finally retired? So Sainz is a really good driver. Perez is a really good driver. So Merc are dealing with the fact that they've got Ocon in car 2 now. And Russell in car 2. Aston Martin are dealing with the fact that Stroll is now their best driver. And there's only so much that Daddy's money can do for you. I think we're good for row 2, you know. Is Sainz as good an F1 driver as his dad was a rally driver? He's a very good driver. Someone who's worth like digging into is Max's dad. Like, when you say Verstappen and Magnussen to me, I kind of think of Verstappen old senior and a Magnussen senior because I'm that old. They were the ones that were racing when I was getting into racing in the late 80s and 90s. Who's that? Because we must have at least a couple of debutants. So Piastri's at winning. Mick is at Alpha. Bottas is still at Alpha, so that's the same drivers as last year. Ayumi Iwasa. The Dutchman, let's not get into Jos Verstappen's literal track record. Well, yeah. Okay, good starting confidence. Right, this is it, chat.
We'll practice. Pay off.
Q1. Let's see what she can do. Haas went back to rookies. Yeah, I mean, well, Sargent's got another couple of years under him in this game version. Right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There goes Russell. We'll follow Russell out. That's not bad, given we were in traffic. Two hours into stream, time for Vroom Vroom, yeah. That's at least Q3 for Norris pace. I think Magnussen got stuck in traffic there. You reckon Norris got caught up as well? Possibly. But that's everyone through to Q2. I think we can reasonably expect both drivers to get through to Q2 this season, which increases our bonus options, which is good. Now here's the real test. We're going back out on used softs. This is the true test. If we can qualify through Q2 on used softs, that means we're going to get a clean set of softs for Q3, and we've still got 2 sets of softs for the race. We're going to have full race flexibility, 2 sets of softs, 2 mediums. We'll give it a go. What season are we in? This is second season, McLaren. No, third season. Is this second or third? Third season, McLaren. Mag's unlikely given us 12th in Q1. I think he will get through. I think he got stuck in traffic. So I'm going to try it. It's not a huge issue if he doesn't get through this. Early days. Yeah, we're fine on weather. Unsurprisingly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Follow Ocon. And Gasly, right? When Gasly gets all the way round. Right, we're going out now. That's a clean run for both drivers. We've nailed it. That's a clean run. That's a clean run on used softs. Okay, Magnussen's well off the pace on used softs. But Norris, 0.4 down on used softs. So what we probably need to be doing this season is we rely on the fact that Magnussen gets fresh softs for Q2, because he can probably get to Q3 on them, and then we assume he's not going to get higher than 10th. So chat, remind me that our general strategy then is Norris gets used softs for Q2. K-Mag gets new softs. Max has got his penalty as well, remember, so we could front row for this. Because we're now on fresh softs, and we've still got 2 for the race.
Okay, so that's a
1,
quick
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Follow Verstappen. So once Verstappen completes his fast lap, we're going out. That's Verstappen on his fast lap. We can now go out. No. We need him on just coming onto his slow lap before we go out. Now we go out. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Clean run, clean run, clean run. Yes! That's third. That's a Row 2 car, I think. That's going to put us on the first row because Verstappen's got a penalty.
It's race day with the teams and drivers ready and raring to go.
Bahrain has seen some of the most dramatic races in F1, like Sergio Perez's incredible 2020 victory.
How did Verstappen get a penalty in the first race? Verstappen got a penalty within the first 8 minutes of the very first practice.
What do you think he's feeling ahead of this race, Karun?
I don't think there can be any
'Cause he's
real
Verstappen.
over their performance so far.
He
They
speared
know
himself
what they're
into a
capable
wall
of,
in
and they're
practice.
making sure to deliver.
And there's going to be a lot for the teams to handle. So will the drivers and their cars be able to deal with the pressure here in...
Right, let's set our strategy and we get some more wine before we do the race. Second on the grid, lads. And lasses. There may be some lasses watching. Statistically unlikely. But hopefully there are. Our strategy is absolutely more wine. Right, race strategy. Soft, medium, soft. Oh, that's nice. I think soft, medium, soft. So we start fast. Slower on the medium bit. We catch up on the end. I think the K-Mag medium soft. No, we kind of want him to climb through the pack, don't we? He's starting far enough back that we can just start him on the same strategy. What we will probably do is just tweak this slightly. So he comes in on lap 18 and on lap 40. So we just give him a lap bounce between each of them. So we're not getting a pit clash. Right. Now I have no idea if this makes a difference. Remember, we're running a lighter car. So I'm going to dump us up 1 fuel. We're going to start with an extra lap's worth of fuel. And then out the gate, go aggressive, go fuel usage, and DRS. ERS yourself down. I think that's the strategy, chat. I'm going to get some more wine. Now is your time to dispute this as a strategy for these drivers. Any disputes with this, put it in chat now. If not, I'm taking your agreement that this is the correct strategy, and when it doesn't work, that's your fault more than mine. So back in 1 minute. Okay, what are we looking at, chat? Let's have a look at our feedback. Soft for Mags. You need to explain your logic. Need to spider them. Yeah, murder is always an option. I'd argue soft hard softs for K-Mag to get him somewhere around P7, P5 quickly, then drive defensively to ensure a few points, finally pitting for softs to get the 1 point for the fastest lap. Sakir has a lot of straights which would benefit from the top speed advantage. That's a reasonable strategy. We could use Magnussen as our kind of push for... I like it as a strategy. I'm not sure it's the right strategy yet. Climb through the pack and sustain. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. I'm going to go with Toxic. Okay, let's go with this. I think you may be right in the long term, Wouter, but I think we need a few more good parts on this car before Magnussen can reliably go for our fastest lap bonus. Also, we might have lost the fastest lap bonus. We need to check after this race. Remember to check. We may have lost it in a rule change last season. Maybe. But we can check that. Okay, let's do this. If we didn't lose it in a rule change, I think you might be right for future races. Here we go. This is one of the ones we are going to restart if we crash. Like, further into the season, we'll let chance fall, but I do want to just see what we can do.
Here in Sakir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International.
Look at us there on the front.
Now I wonder, will things be going Lando Norris's way in this race?
Our sexy little white car.
For them today, they'll be aiming for a podium, but could they even
Sponsored by VMware.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine.
I go Welter. It's fine.
Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we
This
go.
is the other thing I'd like the game to do, is to let you set more than just these at the thing. Because I'm going straight on there, because he is good at it, and we're going overtake aggression high. We're not going to do that for Magnussen. We are going to do that for Norris. We're also going to say, Norris, you can absolutely use ERS Battle Assist, and we will tell Magnussen the same. I just quite like it if you could save these, because I generally start all the races the same way. So it's like, just let me have a saved instruction set up. Would be nice. Just like a little bit of a quality of life improvement. Right. Do we want to go this view of Norris? Or do we want to go in the car? I think we go this view to start with. I want to see a car, an F1 car in Royal Navy Blue. That's mostly the Williams are close. Destroy Leclerc, please. Him driving in a Red Bull is an abomination. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, go on, get first corner. Get first corner. Oh, we got first corner. I think we have a competitive car, chat. Yeah, I think he probably is on mediums, which is helping us. Yeah, so Charles is on mediums. But the problem is he's holding up Perez, which is working to our advantage. So if their morale is low, they're not happy. Do they sometimes not follow your instructions on race strategy? No, but their morale will drop even further. So what drops is their driver confidence. And the lower their confidence, the more likely they are to make mistakes on the track. Okay, I think this is a top 6 car. Which is where we want to be. And we'll be better at the AI than engine management. I think we're going to get some podiums off of this season. Yeah, I'm fastest lap. Pardon my question, is that a mod? For the... What for? For the livery? For the car livery, it's a mod. If that's what you're asking about. For the livery you want... Let me grab it. Mods are very easy to install in this game, and they do have some good ones, so... What you want is a website called Race Department. We are currently, this season, driving with this livery.
DRS enabled. DRS enabled.
Now here's the moment of truth. But yeah, there's some really good mods on Race Department. I think you have to register to be able to download, but it's absolutely worthwhile. It might even cost you like $5 or something, but it's honestly well worthwhile. K-Mag needs to do some fucking work back there. You're on softs, dude.
Make sure keep these tyres in good nick. We want to manage our tyre budget. Let's go for it. Copy.
Ricciardo spun out. Oh, is that what I missed while I was copying things? We'll take him up high risk once he's in the top 10.
As they head into turn 10. Can they squeeze by?
So I don't really like having Magnussen on high risk overtakes. He's not as good at it as Norris is. Norris, you can pretty much just leave on high risk overtakes unless you're having a constant duel. Right, neutral. Go neutral and save it for ERS battle assist. The Red Bull cannot catch Norris with DRS support. It can. They're making it up on us. The Red Bull is a faster car right now. Overall, it's a better package. Oh, come on.
Yes, we have. We've had a crash. What happened there? Here's the replay. And if we
Magnus.
the cars jostling for position,
This is why we don't put Magnussen on high risk overtake.
inevitable.
Pace is still good, let's just keep it up.
Kevin. Yeah, his chassis gone. Right, I am going to load that because I just want to get a feel for both of them, but it's our own fault for putting Magnussen on high risk overtakes. If Magnussen crashes again, no, I'll let him go out. Didn't he crash out first race last season? Yeah, probably. I just like here to be able to set race instructions, not to have to like... Breaks the feel to have to pause it straight after race start.
And this is it. The Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out.
Like, I have to hit
and
pause
away
there.
we go.
And now go in and go high risk overtakes. And battle assist. And then for you, we say battle assist. Right, just let me set those things in advance. Right, we'll watch the start and then we'll go high speed. Norris, give it a go. Oh, not as good a start. Which is probably fair, to be honest. Although we got it again. I mean, as a test of kind of just consistency, that's interesting to see. Okay, let's just speed this. Watch for these to overheat and then we drop them. Drop. You can drop. Actually, you're doing well on your tyres. Go for it. Now you're overheating, down to standard.
We've had a big crash here.
Right, here's the action at turn 10. The opportunity begging to be taken. The points in touching distance now.
Nice.
11th.
Who crashed?
And yep, it's the Haas that's affected there.
Owassa. That's hardly Owassa's fault. I reckon Aston Martin drove into him. Is that De Vries? How is that Owassa's fault? De Vries drove it into him. Remember, Norris overperforms his tyres. Yeah, but we don't want to overheat them. Lose grip. Yeah, we do have straight liners on the Red Bulls. They catch us with DRS. They corner better than us at the moment. If we can sort out cornering. This is a good car. Remembering we're burning extra fuel as well. So once you stop burning that, we will drop back. We'll drop down to -1 and we'll run light. Because we'll make that back over the race. I've got no doubt about that. I assume Leclerc's still on mediums as well. Yeah. The Red Bull is a better car than us. Right, that'll do for running long on those. Go down to balanced. How are we looking on stops? Okay, first stop is about lap 20. Magnussen can be regularly placing inside the top 10. That's good for us. Like, top 10 finishes would just be good. Fine with that. We will manage our parts better as the season goes on than the AI. It's basically Norris fighting the Red Bulls.
Now we should be able to take a look here. Now this was on the straight. It's there for the taking.
If you consider they only need to be in the heart of the cars. You know. Thing is, I'm quite happy with this because we're just trading DRS off of each other, which is opening up the gap to Stroll. Perez just fucked his pit stop. We could push Norris on his tyres. He is entering his pit window. We are going to pit Magnussen first. And they're both on lap 19 pits. Oh, it's a 10-second gap. That's fine. We can pit both on the same lap. We can do a same lap pit. It's not a problem. If we could drop him, we'd be laughing. We're not that good. Right, that's optimal. It's a pit for the mediums. I mean, Leclerc is going to get... Wasn't Leclerc on mediums? What's he running then? Is he running a one-stop? Is he doing medium hards? He can't be doing an inverted K-mag. Surely. He's got... Is he trying to do medium soft soft? That's just very early to pit on mediums if you're doing medium soft soft. I'd be very interested to see what he comes out on. Let's see what he comes out on. Holy shit, when did K-Mag get 5th? Maybe the Red Bulls eat tyres. I mean, that's great news for us if they eat tyres. Because we can stretch ours.
Okay, there's box, please. Okay, box is left.
Verstappen's going to get DRS, which is annoying, but... Right, you can absolutely come in on the same lap. We were doing soft, weren't we? What's he coming out on? Right, he's out. He's doing... That's super early, surely. Unless they're really good on their tyres. Right, he came out on lap 19 on softs. Remember that, chat. He came out on lap 19 on softs. I mean, medium, soft, medium? Unless they can really stretch softs, that's a very odd pit stop. If they can really stretch softs that far, we're fucked this season. I mean, I'm already chatting like we're actually challenging for the title. We're not. Is there a rule that different tyre types have to be visibly different so you can distinguish them, or how do you tell normally? Combo of both. You can see the difference between the tyres. But there's also pit rules that you can't... You must have at least 2 different... Unless it's raining, you must have at least 2 different variants of tyres. So it is all kind of tested. Out in 3rd. K-Mag out in 7th. We're going to run hot until we get the tyres up. That's fine. Go neutral. We came out in front of Leclerc as well. That's going to fuck him. We can hold him off for a bit. That's really going to fuck him. K-Mag's out already, isn't he? He is on his new tyres. Yes. Let's let him run up to temperature as well. Leclerc brought the Ferrari strategist with him. Yeah, so it seems. Right, we'll run these hot until they're up to temperature. K-Mag switch to that. Honestly, if K-Mag can get us top 10s this season, that's amazing. Fuel we're not great on. Oh, he's going to take us... He is on the softs, though. Oh, hang on. We're going to get the DRS, aren't we? Yes, we got the DRS. Right, tyres are up to temperature. Drop to standard. So Leclerc's going to build up a bit of a lead now, because he is on the better tyre, and I think he's pushing those tyres. Yeah, the Red Bulls are better cars than ours at the moment. That's fine. K-Mag dropping back a bit. That's okay. Russell's burning up. Don't think he's going to catch us before we get off of mediums, though. The main problem is K-Mag and Russell trading places for DRS. K-Mag might... Is Russell on softs? Yeah. I mean, Leclerc's going to be on shitty softs if he is going softs again. K-Mag fighting Russell is good because it's slowing down Russell. Right, you're on pit window, so we're actually going to push you. Your last tyre's medium, so he's probably going to finish 7th, I reckon. But in the meantime, you can absolutely shithouse Russell for us. K-Mag? Shithouse, please. Shithouse like you've never shithoused before, K-Mag. K-Mag, give me another lap of shithouse. And then we'll pull you in. Because that's like an extra second and a half. 2 seconds. You've just bought us over. You've just bought Norris over Russell. Yeah, he comes in this lap. Norris, you're in pit window. Don't want to bring you in yet, but we are going to push your tyres. Yeah, I think this is Red Bull's win. Red Bull's car is good. Isn't K-Mag still technically first car? He's only first car because there was no way we were paying Russell more money. Paying Norris more money until we had to. Actually, don't deploy. You can save that for when you're on the mediums. No, do deploy, because if you can stay in front, that's good. So you're coming in. And you're pushing. We gain fuel back slower than we did. Our fuel efficiency isn't great. So we need to be careful about running long on fuel. K-Mag out in 6th. That's not bad. So I think Stroll will catch him. But I think that was a good shout. Whoever did the strategy for K-Mag, that was a good shout. Is it toxic? I think it was toxic.
She'll keep these tyres in good nick.
Right, we're up to temperature now, so push for a bit. Because he's drawing DRS off of Gasly. Weirdly, almost his best hope is to stay behind Gasly and just keep drawing DRS off of him. Right, you're on optimal. Come on in. Yeet yourself onto some softs. Might have been too late for that on this lap. Yeah, that's fine. They double soft. Damn, man. They pitted early on those. They're good on tyres. .94 pit stop is 11th in fastest pit stops. Yeah, I know. Can you get off of this screen, please? I need to be able to do shit. Game. 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 Interface is bugged, game.
We don't want to overcook them.
Yeah, I know they are. I can't overheat them because the game has decided I'm not allowed to change my stuff. Oh, thank God. Russell, yeah, is going to take that. I think he'll hold off Stroll, you know.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Yeah.
Right, Russell is kind of gaining on Norris, but not easily. We're going to have to push you to conserve. Right, balanced. Deploy. Attack. See if he can grab fourth off of Russell. I mean, Norris, just don't crash. Just leave you on deploy.
Use the overtake. Copy. So tyre temps do look good.
Copy that.
This is the last lap.
Go on, Norris. Go on, Kev. You can take him. YOLO.
Let's go for it.
Copy.
Go on, Kev. You got him, Kev. You can take him. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. You've got him, you've got him, you've got him. Again, go K-Mag.
And think about increasing the lifting coast just a little.
Copy.
That's Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is today's winner.
Stay there, Russell. You can stick your horsey red car up your arse.
Okay, Lando, that is the checkered flag, so we are boxes lap. That's P3. P3.
No, 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 don't let him take it. Don't let him take it. You got him. You got... No, 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 no. You've got him.
Yeah, awesome job, everyone.
Don't let him get you on the outside. K-Mag. K-Mag on the line, dude.
We have checkered flag now. So yeah, got P5. Well done, mate, for sticking at it.
Better luck next time. Yeah, good job, guys.
I'm happy with that, you know. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that. I think we can reasonably expect to have both cars within the top 10 this season, which is great for setting sponsor targets.
A great drive today from Max Verstappen.
Definitely a well-deserved podium.
Yeah, Max is good, blah, blah, blah.
Very good indeed.
Ducks can also work if we're willing to be slightly less discreet. Yeah.
A team that worked so hard to see this moment. And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium.
And that was only their first race trophy. What a dream start to life in Formula One.
And we've certainly kicked things off in style here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now, Karoon, with that result in mind, what would they be feeling like down at McLaren?
Pretty fucking happy.
They'll certainly be pleased to have made the podium. A job well done for sure.
Pretty fucking happy down at McLaren.
About that for this weekend's action here in Bahrain.
I'll take that. So the Red Bulls are better than us. Ferraris maybe about even. Pretty consistent though. And that's decent. Excellent result. Yeah, I know, I completely agree. We've just got new side pods as well. Right. Let's have a think. So we've just knocked out side pods 3. I think we've got a couple of days to go until... Yeah, 7 days until we start next research. These side pods we're going to have for a while. So we'll get them on Norris before this race. Let's make 4 of them. Right. Let's get those side pods on that car before we do an analysis comparison. Someone's dusted the memorabilia room. That's good. Needed doing. And we got some rear wings going on there. So, save some time. Do that one. I'll be race marshal at the race. Oh, nice. Yeah, if you meet him, say I do want to try and get him to win the championship before then, but ask him if he's up for being second driver to Florsch so that we can get her to the championship. We'll get him on stream. He can come down. We'll get him on stream. See what he thinks about it. What I'd really like to do is find someone who can get in touch with Florsch, and you're talking about modding, and get her to actually do some voice commands into the game. Like, just do the full script, because we could mod her in so that she'd actually have voice commands. Right. Are we at the new bit yet? Not quite. 2 days. Next ATR is 2 days, so we need to skip forward 2 days, but we also need to manufacture. So we've got 6 days on that. I think it was rear wings, wasn't it? Yeah. We're going to be on this rear wing for a while, so we're going to make 4 of them. Second one's in 7 days. Let's rush 2. Refurb on hospitality. That take us ahead enough? Nope, 1 day. Stop. ATR, excellent. Right. Now, parts. made one and we've made one, so we can do a proper analysis now. So 2 can get new wing, new side pods. Is there anything else new we made? It's on both. It's on both. We haven't done any front wings yet. Right. So car 2 is currently our best car. So change car, car 2. First off, straight up. Well, that's looking nice. We're now first on high-speed corners. So AFK for the end of the race, really well. So what did we get, chat? We got podium for Norris behind the Red Bulls. And was Russell 5th? And it was only because the Ferrari... Oh no, sorry, K-Mag was 5th. It was Russell's Ferrari pipped him on the line, didn't he? So yeah, great result. Right, let's compare ourselves to the Red Bulls here. So they do us on acceleration. It's that cornering. Yeah, look at their brake cooling. Their brake cooling is really good. Okay, low and medium speed cornering is where we really need to sort this. Right, next set of parts. We haven't done chassis or front wing yet. So what do we prioritize? Front wing, maybe? Should we go big on this? No, we want to go slightly small. Right, we're going big on cornering. And we're going to do an intense on this because we can afford it. And it's our first one. Saudi Arabia Grand Prix is in 4 days. If we threw another engineer at that, are we getting that in time? No, it's 5 days no matter what we do. Guessing it's the same for the suspension. Jeddah is essentially no straights, so cornering and brake ducts would be top priority. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do as well at Jeddah. I think we'll probably be sixth-ish. Right, we haven't done any chassis, so let's get some chassis going on. Now we could go engine cooling here. I think same strategy again, we go slightly low. I'm not that fussed about our engine cooling because we're going to be better at engine management than everyone else. Part of me wonders if we should just drag race it again. Let me go with that. We're going to need to buy more chassis, but we're going to get more sponsor bonuses, so I think we can get away with it. I think that's fine, chat. It's going to give us some more top speed. It's going to give us some more low and medium, and it's going to give us a high speed boost to keep us in the region on that. And we're going intense on that again. Slightly annoyed we can't bring the underfloor in on time, but it's fine. Are we manufacturing everything we need to manufacture? So we've got another rear wing coming off. We've got one side pod down and 3 more coming. So that means we should be able to K-mag up on a rear wing. No. Oh, okay, we get our other one in that, so we'll build some more rear wings after that, because we're not going to do rear wing research yet. Is there anything else? Underfloor, we're about to roll out some new stuff. Suspension should be fine on. We've got S2s. And I'd kind of assume we want to start... Yeah, we've got another suspension design. This is where I think in this version of the game, doing a double burst on research is absolutely right. Because it means you can build maybe 2, maximum 3 of a single part. And then you're straight onto the next part. Right, we have 12 million in the bank. We're about to do another race. Do we upgrade the race simulator? Right, that's K-Mag's rear wing. At least 2 of them. Let's see if I can upgrade it. Let me know if I can upgrade it. Is there going to be another race on stream? We can probably fit one in if we slam through practice. Which we're going to do. Yeah, let's try and get another one in. Right, qualifying position. Number of drivers 1, qualifying position 8. If we go 2 in the top 12, is that more money than 1 in 8? 1 in 8 is 131. 190, so we're doing that. And reach Q3. Fastest lap, probably not going to happen. Finish position, I think we can be bold on this and say we will finish higher than 6th. Qualifying position streak is 2 in top 10. Yeah. Number of drivers 1. Finish position 9th. Hot target. Yeah, so we're on that. That's fine. This screen is essentially gambling against yourself. Yeah, it's you're kind of saying to the sponsors, we think we can exceed our expectations if you give us more money, but we will take a penalty if we don't meet it. So it's one of those kind of there we go, banned. Bot be banned. Go to dogehype.com apparently. How about we don't go to Dogehype? Tell you what we'll do is actually, because this is a really good chance, is we will show you how we get Sophia's stats up as well. Which again, we will restart if she gets... we will reload if she gets murdered off the track, just because we're quite early, but... Everything's good there. We've set our pre-race stuff. We're gambling against ourselves. Let me queue up F1, K-Mag,
We're here in
or
Jeddah, where the tension is
Jeddah.
building as we head into the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Jeddah. Never done a Grand Prix, and I'd really like to do one. I'd kind of want to do one abroad, not in England. I was in Montreal last year when they had the Grand Prix on. Right, so car parts we leave as is for now. Car setup, you go to 7. Let's check they're the same. Yeah, they are. You go to 7, 11, 9, 1, 3, 5, and 0. Run plan is that. Driving options is that. And that. Car parts is fine. Here's where it's different. This is where we start skilling up stuff. I understand the URL. Yeah, no, see, there you go. You see what I mean? It's like you just get bots popping in and doing stuff. And to be fair, Twitch is pretty good at knocking them down relatively quickly. But this is why you kind of just go, right, actually, yeah, no URLs, all of that. I think technically Rope Trick's is a mod when he's around. So here's how we're going to extra skill up Sophia. So in practice 1, we can do this. And we're going to do it to K-Mag, not to Norris. We can put Flush into car 1. We really shouldn't be doing this because she's a 59. But I kind of feel we need to. Pretty certain you are a mod. Will I not make you a mod? Sure you're a mod. Oh no, you're not. Zonahedron's a mod, I think. There you go, congrats, you're now a mod. With great power comes great responsibility, but congrats, you're now a mod. So she's going to drive for us in practice 1. And I suspect you're about to see why I'm not putting her in a car yet, but we'll go with it. 7, 11, 9, 1, 350, 0. Couple of laps on that. Driving options down to that, down to that. Yep, that's fine. Save. Hides before Mod goes crazy on Bauer. Yeah, well, you got to watch out for this. Loki love you struggling with the umlaut pronunciation. To be fair, once I get used to it in different languages, I'm good at it. Does it be Flursh? Be Flursh? I'm trying to learn Japanese at the moment, which, fuck me, learning a new alphabet's hard. Like, it makes you feel like a toddler again. You don't realise how kind of used to understanding letters you get. Flourish? That just sounds like Swedish chef speak.
Ready, check.
Right, let's get you on. Avoid all of that. Let's go with that. Flourish. Because if she's going to be our champion, I've got to say her name right. This is where I'd like a mod that just like... This annoys me. I will do a video about it. She is literally the only female driver in the game. Literally the only female driver in the game. There are achievements in Steam. It would not have been hard. The game has challenge modes. It would not have been hard to go, there is an achievement for making her world champion. And it would not have been hard for them to just go to her and get her to record her voice parts. Even if they weren't going to do custom skins or models for her. Because I get that that's a lot of dev to just do for like one female main character. But they could have done it. It's not that hard. They got other female models in the game. But just record her voice. Streamers are going to do like I do. They're going to look for interesting challenges and, yeah, win a championship with Flourish. Like, how much effort would it have been to just go and get her to do a full voice script? Not a lot. And the aspirational element you create for young girls wanting to do F1, or the normalization of old white blokes like me just seeing a driver like that treated the same way as another one is huge. Just annoys me is all. Like, it's just such a wasted opportunity. Right, so what you're going to see here is you see that she doesn't have track awareness because she's our reserve driver. So she can continue to check the balance of the car. She can continue to build up parts knowledge, but she can't build up kind of track knowledge. But she is building up driving experience by doing this. So by the end of the session, she should tick up to +1. So this is what K-Mag misses out on by not doing this.
And Lando, can I have an update, please?
Lando's got a great setup, so let's get that in.
Understood.
Let's get Sophia in and see what her setup's like. Can confirm young Belgian girls cyclists are wild, having seen a Belgian woman win World Cup. Like, I am a vice chair of a women's football club in the UK, London Seaward. Like, we are one of the top-ranked independent women's football clubs in London. And the reason I do that is because you cannot believe how much of a difference it sees, like, to schoolgirls when they see women's football players out there doing their stuff in professional kits backed by Puma, like, taking names on the pitch, doing all of that. It makes such a huge difference. And then you see the boys that come along as well, and they realise that actually they're allowed to have girl heroes. And that's one of the big things I get angry about. And I'm sorry this is a bit of a rant, but I get really angry that it wasn't until I was like maybe like fucking 28 or something that I kind of managed to mentally get to the idea that I was allowed to have female heroes. because that's how much the fucking patriarchy fucks you up as you grow up. But anyway, this is not a stream about politics. It's not everything else, but that's my belief anyway, is everyone should have the right to have whichever heroes they want. And it's good for boys to have girls' heroes as much as it is good for girls to have girls' heroes. And when there's low-hanging fruit like this, voice the fucking driver. It's such low-hanging fruit. Right. Anyway, back to racing. Right, that's a 94. We're going to keep that because tweaking that would take a lot of effort to tweak. And then we're better off, the less practices and the less driving we can do, the more our parts are going to last. And that is going to give us an advantage in the long term. That's a 90. I think we might as well twist. No. 90's enough. I think for K-Mag, generally, the rule is going to be 90. For Lando, we're going to try and aim for 95. But the more we can preserve K-Mag's car, the better. So get out there again, Sophia, and just do more laps. I hope you come to Games of the Club. Yeah, look, hey, look, anyone's in London, come down. First game of the season is next weekend. Who we've got? I can't remember who we've got, but it'll be a great game. We compete against teams with 10 times the budget we do. And we do it because we use data smarter, and we're always on the lookout. Look, I'm not going to be afraid to say it. If you work for a fucking tech company and you want the lowest hanging sponsorship fruit you can imagine, like DM me, because we are an independent women's club in London in the middle of all of this, and we use data and everything else to compete with all of these big name teams like Norwich and fucking Wimbledon and all of this on a tenth of their budgets. And we do it by being smarter on the pitch. Searching for a video where she pronounces her own name, but she's like me, she pronounces her German name very English while speaking English. Interesting. I do wonder sometimes about that, like, is that a thing where you just find your kind of... It, like, when I used to go to France a fair bit, when I used to do French pen pal and went over there a lot, I would introduce myself to people as... So my real name is Gareth. It's not John Bull, it's Gareth. And I would introduce myself to people over there as Garrett, because I knew that was how they were going to pronounce it anyway, so I didn't mind it. So yeah, they'd be like, oh, you know, what's your name? And I'd be like, je m'appelle Garrett. So I do wonder how, like, and I assume it's personal preference as much as anything else. Right, so they're going to carry on building up some practice knowledge. I want to get one more race in, but I also want more wine. So I'm going to run down and get some more wine while we're doing this practice. I'll be back up in a second. What I will do while I'm away, though, is if you're interested in what I'm talking about as a football club, this is who we are. Stick this link in chat for you. Right, back in a second. Right, how we doing in practice, chat? It's rather amusing how Twitch assumes a new moderator is coming in the middle of massive chaos. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that is. Right, so do you see she got 100% driver development there? So reserve drivers can participate in P1 to develop their skills. They still earn car parts knowledge and setup satisfaction, which they pass on to the main driver. So she got +1 in development just for participating in that. I pronounce my first and last name in an English way outside of French-speaking places because there's no point otherwise. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think everyone tries. Every decent human being tries to pronounce names the right way. So setup satisfaction 94. I think we will go with that. I think we will send both of them out for P2s. And we'll just run them the distance. We will run them the distance. And that's good. There's a couple more races before we start doing the engine part shuffle.
Track should be green now.
Off you go, gang. And out. And give you instructions. I deliberately avoid setting don't fight teammate for both of them because it does weird things, I've noticed. Get mistaken for British all the time as soon as someone sees my full name. My weirdest one like that was many years ago when I lived in the US, when I lived in New York. So when I was 23, I lived in New York. I was sent over to New York by Haymarket, one of the big UK publishers, who was setting up a US arm, and my job was to set up their entire US digital arm. Because, you know, in 2002, 2003, the only people you could get to do that were 23-year-olds. So that was enormous fun, because they basically paid for me to live in Manhattan for a couple of years and everything else, and I had an enormous amount of fun doing that. But it also meant I had an E2 visa. And E2 visas are essentially an interesting visa in US terms, because what they really translate to is this person can do something that no one in America can do, and that is why we've given them a visa. And the firm had applied for this because I happened to be an expert in various bits of quite unique elements to do with Java, Cold Fusion, and a bunch of other stuff that was a unique combination. And the embassy had agreed. Oh, fuck off, Magnussen. Don't make me restart P2. What did you ruin? Yeah. And the embassy in London had agreed, and they'd granted me the visa, and that was all fine. What I hadn't realised is the absolute amount of ire, of annoyance I was going to get from every single fucking US customs person every single time they saw a 23-year-old with pink hair and a fucking Matrix coat, because, you know, 2003, coming through customs with a visa that basically said they were better than every single American out there.
Should be green.
Let me tell you, they do not like that.
Ready to check? Yep, it's Lando.
And the problem with that, beyond the obvious of just them always shithousing me every time I had to go through customs, was
Radio check.
my name,
Nice, loud and clear.
my real name, is a very common Welsh name. One might call it the Welsh version of John Smith, which means it's the name of the director who directed Rogue Squadron. It's the name of a very famous Welsh rugby player. And there are many, many other people who have that name. Some of whom, it turns out, are on the American no-entry list. Which meant that every single time I went through customs, they would see themselves as having an excuse to pull me aside and go, well, you have an unusual name, so we need to run extra checks. To which my reply was always, my name is not unusual, it's just unusual to you. And they'd be like, well, I've never heard of that name. And I go, yes, that's because you're not Welsh. But trust me, there are many, many Welshmen that have exactly the same name as me. So yeah, no, that was always fun coming through US Customs. I still get it a bit now. Not as much, but I still get it a bit now. I did get to on my last trip to Canada, though, which was good fun. I loved Canada. I loved Toronto. Toronto was really nice. Toronto is like the Sims version of New York. But yeah, when I was in Toronto, when I arrived in Toronto, customs there were like, what do you do and what is the purpose of your visit? And I did get to say, I'm a historian, and I'm a historian. Which, to be fair, the customs guy enjoyed, and then just waved me through. And that was when I was over there with Alex and Drac, looking at cool ships. And obviously we did Australia this year. We'll do Sweden next year. So yeah, all good. Someone just follow me, because I got a notification and I didn't get a activity feed thing for it. If you just followed me, thank you for following me. So yeah, you can see the downside of Sophia taking practice 1 is it limits Magnussen in terms of how much track experience he can build up. Which is why last year we moved to going, actually, our driver needs to be someone we don't mind not doing as well. And it's why I think it's really critical that we keep Norris this year. Because we're going to need one driver that overperforms to compensate for the fact that we have one driver that can't, is always going to be capped, is always going to be limited in what they can do. And that's why I wanted a veteran in this seat. And if we lose Magnussen at the end of the season, that's why we'll equally want another veteran in that seat. Because then we're not worried about them losing out on dev. We know they can drive reasonably well anyway, even with low track familiarization and low entry race confidence, basically. But having a good car is going to help with that as well, because taking those early positions and polling well, or qualifying well, will increase confidence. So I think he will max out at 90 now. I don't think you can get higher than that in a single session. Yeah, look, he's going to max out at that. The good news is Lando's getting up there as well. So going forward, we're probably not going to run both Lando and Magnussen for both of these, but again, I think we're going to do another season of avoiding doing P3s. E2 visas are still a fucking nightmare, at least they were 2 years ago. Yeah, I mean, like, it was an amazing thing to have. And it's one of those things where I don't think I realised the power of what I had. Because you're 22, 23, and you just assume the world always goes in your favour. You know, you think you're invincible. It's only years later that I was kind of like, fuck me, I had an E2 visa. To be fair, I probably would have stayed and lived over there. If I hadn't been dating my now wife. Like, if it hadn't been for that, that's a sliding doors moment. I loved New York. I loved it almost as much as I loved London. So I probably wouldn't have come back. because they wanted me to stay up there permanently. Basically, the US arm of the company, after, as I came towards the end of my time, were just like, will you move out here permanently? Will you take over everything for us out here? We will sponsor you for a permanent visa. We will pay all the lawyers' fees. We will do everything else. And then you'd have been Garius the Yankee. No, I'd always have been the Brit. That's part of the problem, is I always knew I was a Brit deep down. That is, though, why my Twitter name is John Bull. Or my pen name, rather. Because I was writing a column for The Guardian at the time about being an Englishman in New York. And I just wanted a pen name that was standardly British. So I went with John Bull. Right, so I think we'll do the same again. We're not sending them out for P3, but we are going to push them out just for a lap on the tyres. Just, I like it. It gives us a bit of a marker. We'll send them out for 4 laps. On standards. Off you go, lads. Go, go. And let's count down. Being a migrant worker is really weird like that. At some point you hit the do I try to stay checkpoint and everyone deals with that differently when they hit it for real. Honestly, like, I was in a long distance relationship. That's what brought me back. If it hadn't been for that, I'd have stayed in New York. Like, I'm really happy I did come back. I love London more than anything. But it was purely because Bex, my wife, is she's a biochemist, and she had no desire to work in the American healthcare system. She's quite happy working in the NHS. And I love London, and I've always been a Londoner, so I came back. So let's see. I would imagine the Red Bulls will take that off of us again when they come out. Stroll putting in the clocks. You go, Stroll. But as much as out of laziness as anything else, I probably would have stayed out there if I hadn't been in that long distance relationship, because they were essentially, the offer on the table was they were going to sort me out with an apartment, give me a subsidy for the first X years to allow for like the fact that I had moved over there. They were going to pay for all of my permanent citizenship costs with giant lawyers doing all of the stuff, so that was going to be fine. And they'd have frankly paid me more money within that company to stay. So yeah, just out of a can't be asked to do anything, I'd have stayed. And now you're cat parents and everything. Well, yeah, but the thing is, now we wouldn't do it. Our long-term plan, though, is once we've paid off the house, I want to get a nice place in Kotor, in Montenegro. It's not far from Dubrovnik Airport in Croatia. It's a lovely little Adriatic coast city. Former capital of Montenegro. Phenomenal little walled city. Great bars. Great place to just sit and write. And I can get a nice little apartment there for about 100 grand, 120 grand. And then that's where I want to retire to. Split my time between UK and Montenegro. What were you doing actually? As in me? As in what was I doing over there? Digital strategy and tech leadership, and at the time coding. That's what makes me my money. Lots of money. Well, it pays the mortgage. At some point Boeing wanted me to become a US citizen. The Netherlands does not allow dual citizenship. Oh, doesn't it? Interesting. Oh, of course it doesn't. Someone histofact me. That's an order. Someone histofact me. Someone must have enough hooks for it. I'm not getting alerts on my feed. I wonder if you feed if the feed's down. Like alerts are down or something. There we go.
32? What? How?
Now I'm getting alerts. Always a cheeky way to get sponsorships. Always a cheeky way to get sponsorships. Sorry, I'm just answering an email quickly. Anyway, where were we? Let's carry on.
More histofacts. More Napo. Garius Napo.
I'm still not getting all of those things in. I've only got one from like Calm Horizons. But yeah, based off of Wouter's story there about dual citizenship. World War II. World War II, Dutch government in exile. They're in exile in Canada. Obviously, the Netherlands government does not allow dual citizenship. The problem is that I think it's Princess Juliana. This is where Wouter's going to pull me up. Princess Juliana is pregnant. And that means that when she gives birth to her daughter, because it will be on Canadian territory, she will be a Canadian citizen. So yes, what has to happen is the Canadian government have to very briefly designate a single room, like pass a parliamentary act to designate a single room on the Ottawa maternity ward as international territory, so that, is it Princess Marguerite can be born in international territory and therefore be a Dutch citizen, because otherwise she would have been a Canadian citizen, and you can't be a dual Canadian and Dutch citizen. It is glorious shenanigans. It is top tier shenanigans on a political level.
Hello and welcome to the
I know, as you know, I love stuff like that. I love when someone has to do some kind of little quirk of international law to deal with something. Right, let's at least get qualifying in here. So run plan 1 lap, all good. I suspect we're not going to get the race in, but we will get qualifying in. Let's see if we can do well on qualifying. So we've got some new parts in. So Ricardo's out. Stroll. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. Russell. Russell's on his fast lap. Now we're going to have to watch Zoe. Okay, it's Zoe. When Zoe finishes his fast lap, we go out. Right, now we go out. I think it's a relatively clear run, but not a complete clear run. Go, Kevin! Go, Kevin. Dual citizenship stuff due to the migrant workers we pulled from Morocco and Turkey in the 60s. Oh yeah, no, that's the eternal racism thing. Forcing later generation migrant workers out of the countries. Yeah, like welcome to the Windrush scandal. If you want UK being shitty on that. Go Kevin though. Damn, son. You out qualifying Norris. Right. We're going to do it again. We're going to try it. I believe in you, Kevin. You've got good parts on your car now. Come on, Kev. Pray for K-Mag, chat. Pray for K-Mag. Right, I think that's good enough. We're going to watch album. Fast lap. Now. Go on, K-Mag. You can do it, buddy. He's got a clear run. Norris has hit traffic, but K-Mag's got a clear run. That should be good enough. See, the thing is, technically I can get Irish citizenship, and I do need to get my name onto the waiting thing for it, which would make my granddad laugh heartily, because the reason he left Ireland was because he was an Irishman who fought for the British in World War II. Not because he was particularly pro-British, but because he was very anti-fascist. And after the war, when he went home to County Mayo, his cousins, who were IRA majors basically, turned around to him and said, "Look, Jack, we love you, but you either leave tomorrow or we kill you." So yes, I think he would be endlessly amused that Brexit means I'm at some point going to have to apply for Irish citizenship. Right, they're now both on fresh tyres. Let's give it a go. So what I'm doing here, by the way, just to give you my qualifying strategy, is there's no point going out first unless it's raining, and we've not got rain. We know there are 10 drivers, that everyone does one lap out mostly. So once there's enough drivers on the track, it's worth watching what you assign as your back marker. So let's say Perez here. He's now done his fast lap. So he's now going on to his slow lap. Which means everyone before him has done their fast and slow lap. So if we come out now, there's a reasonable chance we will have a clear track by the time we hit our fast lap. Because he's going to do his slow warm down lap while we're doing our warm up lap. Everyone else is going to be coming back in for tyres. And by the time they come in for tyres and come out again, we should get a reasonably clear run. Not the clearest of runs.
So this is P5, which is a very good position to be in.
And we might go out again for that. No, we're not going to get time. That's alright. That could be worse.
Confirm.
That could be worse. That's third row. I can deal with third row. Welcome to chat, look Ma No Pants. Yeah, beginning of season 3. So this is our stabilizing season. We get Sophia some minutes in the car. She improves. We get there.
Welcome to race day. And before we...
Right, but bombshell, I'm afraid, chat. I can smell dinner. My wife has got dinner on. So, we are going to have to call the stream here. But, it has been wonderful to chat and play with you all again. We will be back for this on Monday. But, !Discord for the F1 campaign thing. And follow me on Twitter and everywhere else. So it's !Socials. Because we may get a bonus stream with this on Saturday. Because I think my wife's out. So I'll be playing this on Saturday anyway. So in the Discord on the F1 campaign chat, you get images, you get the mid-season updates, you can help me pick what we're doing, bit back and forth, so that's good. But we're going to get a bonus stream, I think, on Saturday of this. Probably a few hours, we'll get some races in. So if you want some mid-season action, make sure you're following me now, and make sure you're marking Saturday in your calendar, because it'll probably be Saturday 4 o'clock-ish UK time through to about, let's say, 7 probably. But as usual, absolutely wonderful. No Sunday stream for CK3 this coming week because it is London Seaward's first game of the season. Back with this next Monday, so 5 PM UK time on Monday. And yeah, bonus stream on Saturday for this. And check in on the Discord. Say !Discord. We'll get you the invite link. Let me ping that in there.